Hey guys, welcome back to the Tukes and Tires YouTube channel. As always, I'm Zach, and this week we're tackling this wiring harness and getting it ready to put the LS in here. You know, this is looking like a bunch of spaghetti. What do you think, Lacey? Yeah!
Hey, is that Timmy's?
Yeah, because we're in Canada. Okay guys, well, sorry about the noise from the, furnace, but it's cold in here, so you might have to deal if it's loud. But this is what we're tackling today. So basically, I want to get this all ready for when my LS goes in there. I mean, this might go for some guys that are also doing a small block Chevy. It all really depends on how you're going about it. But I want to clean up my whole firewall and have it painted for the engine when it goes in there. So obviously, you can see we got two harnesses here. They kind of look like the same deal. But this would be all your lights and stuff. We won't be touching that one. I might clean it up, maybe put new loom on it. We'll see. I mean, it doesn't look terribly bad. But this one from the old TBI, all the stuff that's on there, there's a bunch of stuff that doesn't need to be in there. So I'm going to show you guys how to obviously take this off. And we're going to get into depinning some of the stuff in this bulkhead connector. So let me get a table set up here so that we can throw this wiring onto it so we can see it a little easier. And we'll get unbolting that. Okay, so obviously we're going to get this unbolted. I just took some WD-40 shot on this stuff because there's some wires that go here that we got to take off. And one thing I want to note, just for guys that are doing this is what I do. So you can see in the loom here that there's a junction that comes out, right, of these massive wires. I'll just take some electrical tape and just temporarily, so that I know that that's where it came out, I'll just wrap some stuff around that, just so we know when we go to put new loom on, because I'm not going to have nearly as many wires that is coming out of this thing coming out. So I already started taking some of these nuts and bolts off to save me time and thread them back on so I don't lose them. We're also going to worry about this other side later for like the heater stuff. I don't think that's too big of an issue. I mean, if I got to come in afterwards and chop those wires off, that's okay. Also, I'm gonna see, I think this might be the old style fuse box, but I'm not too sure until I see what it looks like on the inside. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah, old style. And this should slide apart. From my knowledge on Google, they show that these plugs, I think, come out of there. So I don't have to take the wire off. This one, it looks like it's just supposed to slide to the side. Oh, there you go. That just kind of popped out. Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so remember on mine, it is green to the top. I'll probably totally forget that. Boom, look at that, we got it off. That's pretty slick. Obviously that one you can see which way it goes on because that's the hole for where this goes on. So we'll get the table set up now and we'll start cutting this down. Look at that. That is so gross. What do you think, Lacey? Yeah. Okay, so now that we got it laid out on the table, obviously for my application, I'm basically only gonna have the wires that go down to the starter, which it's not this blue one, that was probably for some sensor. We're going to have the one for the solenoid and then just the main power, and then the only other wire I'm going to have in this is this one. If you are going to be reusing your factory sensors for, like, say your water temp gauge and your oil pressure, that, you know, would be a good idea when you're taking your motor out. Maybe just label them, and then you want, oh, hold on here. Maybe just label them so that way you know what they are. GM is usually pretty good that they're just grounds, so you could just, just ground them out, then you know your gauge works or whatever. Obviously this is a great time to inspect your wires to see, what's going on with it. I already started looking at this, and I can see that there is a wire right here. Look at the loom is just coming off of it. So I don't know if I'm just gonna take, if I'm gonna chop it out, or if I'm just gonna take some heat shrink, because it's not that bad. Like maybe just a sleeve over top of it, and it'd be fine. Obviously, it's going the same thing. It's something to do with power. So, and then the only other wire I'm gonna keep is this one. This one would be originally for the coil. So you know that. That's you need that basically for what I'm doing to go to my Phytech to know that that's for the key. You could find the wire inside and reroute it, but I just find it's easier to take this and bring it back in. So now, basically, what I do when I'm doing this, you find all the plugs you don't need and you chop them off. And that's the easiest way to go about it. So I'm just going to start chopping off plugs, obviously, that I don't need, and then we're gonna delumine it, and then we'll spread it apart, and then I'll show you guys how to take these things out of there. It almost looks like somebody was in here one time already, because the one prong that was for, it's something to do with the wiper motor, is all bent in there, so I'm gonna have to try to straighten that out. Hopefully it's okay. But we're gonna get you on a time lapse, and then we'll come back to when I actually got something achieved. Okay guys, well, you can see, so this is like all the junk we cut out of there, and now this is all we're left with. So I just started going and taping some stuff together. You can originally see this is where it bent down the side of the motor. So basically, well, I was gonna do the same thing. What I think what I'm gonna do with this is I ripped the kind of heat shrink that was on this off. And what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna like open up this clip, clean the clip, and then, because it's only this one section on this wire that's kind of frayed, I'll go and I'll put heat shrink over top of that, because the wire itself, like you can see, it's just the plastic coating on the outside shield, and it's not the, there's like, it looks like it's some kind of double coated, so it's only that one. So I think that should be okay. That only goes into the fuse box anyways. So you can see that I got this cut down, and I got my pigtails really short, so you can see which one's got to come out. So now is the fun part. So you see they got all this gunk on here, and this is more the old style fuse boxes. There's a newer style, I'm not sure if they call it a C100, but the clips inside are a little different. This one, it has like a little circle, so when you would look at the clip, technically it's like a little circle, and when it gets pushed in, this clip pops back and holds it in there. So when you look at this, there's a hole in there. What we're gonna do, well, what I'm gonna do is on the ones that don't need, I'm gonna go in there and you just snip it to the circle, the one piece should come off, and then you can pull it out the other side. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna start doing that. I'll probably throw a time lapse on so I can listen to my music. I'm a big fan of, like, you know, classic rock, like Elvis, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I can't listen to that while you guys are watching. But I'll start doing that, and then once I get one out of here, I'll show you guys. And then what I might do is I might pull out the other ones just properly, like, because you can do another thing where you squeeze these and then pull it through. And I'll probably do that just so I can clean up all this gunk that's in there, because some of the wires that are down in there are pretty corroded. So we'll get going on that. Here we go. Okay guys, we got all those chopped out of there. So this is why I leave it about this length, because you could see that I was kind of grabbing on it, I was pulling on it. But you can see, I don't know, I had one here that I kind of cleaned up. So you can kind of see that it like I snipped it off, but I pulled one out that I had to repair. But that's what it looks like. I don't know if you guys can see that up against my finger there. But basically it's got a little hook that hooks in there. This one for some reason was like really mangled. There's all this like goop in there. This one wire is still corroded, so I gotta figure out how to get that out of there, because I think the bigger wires are a different style thing. Maybe not, I don't know. I'm gonna get in there, try to clean a little bit, rip it out of there. But I'm gonna shove this wire back in and see what I can do, and then we'll put some loom on it, and then probably when you guys see it, it'll be back into the truck, or you know, what's left of a truck. Okay guys, well, we got that wiring harness back in there. We got the new sheeting on it, looks pretty good. I ended up just you know, fixing up those wires that were, I don't know, like the coating was off of them. There was like a double coating on the factory wire, so I ended up like, I don't know, you can see in there, I did like one heat shrink on it, and then I did like another one over top of this. Looks alright, I think. Should be long enough to go down to where the starter is there. If it's a little bit too longer, I'd rather that than not long enough. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Just the couple spots that were afraid that if you guys are doing this to check your wires, obviously I had this one here. And then I had another one over here where it comes up to this kind of like terminal thing where this like piece of metal sticks out for the, I don't know what that's for, but it was just kind of rubbed through there. And then just in the fuse box itself, I had the one power wire that comes in here. It was kind of corroded. But, I mean, other than that, it went pretty good. Pretty happy with it. I ended up taking the tape off of this stuff, and then I ended up just putting sheeting on that came from something else I cleaned up that came off of here. But, yeah, I think that's alright. Let me know, guys, if there's anything I missed or you want to know something about something else to do with the wiring up here. I'm obviously going to do it myself, so if you need to, you know, an extra brain to think about it, let me know down there in the comments. I'm probably going to leave this other wiring until when I go to clean up actually the firewall. Let me know if you guys want to see a video on that. I don't really think that's that exciting, but yeah, I'm going to fix up that wiring. That wiring over here looks pretty good to me anyways. I'm probably just going to put new sheeting on it and clean up some stuff on it. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for now, guys. For that, I think that's, you know what, everybody wanted to know anyways for how to do that if you're going this route. I really appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. I know I never ask anybody to subscribe, but I really do appreciate it. You guys are the best. But I think that's going to do it for now. I'm going to move on to something else now, and we'll catch you next time. Don't forget to salute the beaver, you know, as always. I don't know where Lacey is. She's sleeping back there. It's too late for her.